In a world where floating elven cities look down on the dark human districts below, Dahlia Reed is a human runner with a secret gift. She can absorb magic through movement, making her faster and stronger than any normal person. When she and her friends take a dangerous job to steal from an elven noble, they uncover a dark conspiracy. The elves have been hiding the truth about human magic and suppressing it for centuries. Betrayed by one of her own crew and hunted by powerful enemies, Dahlia must race through the city, fighting to survive and uncover the secrets of her past. The story is full of tension, betrayal, and hope for a new future where humans and elves might stand equal. The sky burned orange as Dahlia Reed raced across the rooftops of the human district. Her boots barely made a sound, skimming the cracked stone edges and rusted vents. Her heart hammered hard, not from fear, but from the rush of speed and power flowing through her muscles. Behind her, voices shouted, harsh and angry, but she didn't look back. Below, the streets were filled with frightened humans. They barely noticed the chase above them, under the shadow of the floating elven cities. Those towers of shining marble and glass caught the dying sunlight, glowing with magic. They looked peaceful, but Dahlia knew better. Those cities were full of secrets. And danger. 2 rooftops behind, the thugs sent by Governor Hasks were closing in. The package strapped to Dahlia's back weighed heavy, a small wooden box wrapped tightly in oilcloth. It held medicine worth more than a month's pay. A lifeline for Madame Morser, an old woman living in the darkest alleys. Dahlia had promised to deliver it, no matter the risk. Oi! Stop right there, a rough voice echoed from the rooftop behind her. Dahlia smiled. They always said that. Like she'd ever stop. The magic inside her legs burned hotter with every step. The tingle started low, near her calves, and spread like wildfire. It made her faster, lighter, almost like flying. Ahead, a wide gap yawned between buildings. Twice as wide as the others. No ordinary human could jump that far. But Dahlia was not ordinary. She gathered her strength, pulled the magic flowing through her body tighter, and leapt. For a moment, she hung in the air, the world blurred around her. She could feel the energy currents like invisible rivers beneath her skin, pushing her forward. She tucked into a roll as she landed, barely making a sound. The thugs skidded to a halt at the edge she had cleared. They cursed and cursed again, fumbling for their communication crystals. Dahlia didn't slow down. She vaulted over a rusty ventilation duct, slid under a clothesline heavy with drying sheets, and dropped into a narrow alley between buildings. Her fingers caught a cold drainpipe, and she used it to lower herself 3 stories down. The metal was warm beneath her touch. She swung through an open window into an empty apartment, dust motes dancing in the fading light. Dahlia crossed the room and slipped into the building's main hallway. Her boots made barely a sound on the worn wooden floor. 2 floors down, she knocked lightly on a door marked 4C. The door cracked open, revealing a thin, wizened face beneath white hair. "You made it," the old woman said in a surprisingly deep voice. "Did anyone follow you?" "Just some of Hasks's boys," Dahlia replied quietly. "But I lost them." She unstrapped the package and handed it over. "Your medicine, Madame Morser." The old woman clutched the box to her chest. "Bless you, child. The elven apothecary would have charged triple for this. You didn't mention it." Dahlia waved her hand, uncomfortable with thanks. "Just part of the job." Madame Morser pressed a small pouch into Dahlia's palm. Coins clinked inside. "For your trouble." Dahlia hesitated, then took it. They needed every coin. "Stay well, madam," she said and slipped back into the shadows. Outside, Dahlia doubled back through twisting alleys, careful to lose any followers. The human district sprawled beneath the gleaming towers above, a dark, damp world full of danger and hunger. By the time she reached the hideout, an abandoned warehouse behind a broken factory, the magic warmth in her legs had faded. It always did when she stopped moving. Malik looked up from the maps and papers scattered on his workbench. His face cracked into a relieved smile. "You made it back. We were worried." "I had to take the long way," Dahlia said, dropping a pouch of coins on the table. "Hask's thugs are getting better. I need new routes." Malik nodded and pointed to a map. "I'm working on it. This old aqueduct system here might give us cover." Suddenly, the door slammed open. Ren stormed in, her tattoos shifting and writhing with anger. "We've got a problem," she said. What kind? Dahlia asked, tensing. The pain kind. Ren dropped a folded paper on the table, scattering the maps. A big job. Very big. How big? Malik asked, frowning. Big enough to set us up for months, Ren said, eyes gleaming. Dahlia unfolded the note. It was written in elegant elven script. Who's the client? Anonymous, Ren shrugged. They left a contact at Broken Tusk. Half up front, half on completion. Dahlia scanned the note. They want us to steal from an elven noble. Are you insane? Malik gasped. Ren tapped the bottom of the page. That's enough to relocate. Maybe even buy our way into one of those middle tiers. Finn sauntered in, sweat still damp in his sandy hair. His smile faded as he saw their faces. What do I miss? Dahlia handed him the note. Potential suicide mission, she said. Finn whistled. Or a potential retirement plan. He looked up, eyes bright. I vote yes. It's not a democracy, Dahlia muttered. No, it's a reality check, Finn said. Hask's doubling protection fees. Shops are closing. How long before he finds us? Malik sighed. The boy's right. We can't stay ahead forever. And if we're caught stealing from elves? Dahlia challenged. It won't be a fine or a beating, Malik said quietly. It'll be execution. Only if we're caught, Finn smirked. When was the last time anyone caught you, Darl? This isn't a medicine run, she argued. They want us to break into a vault during a gala. Perfect cover, Finn said. All those elves will be too busy to notice a few humans slipping in. Besides, he added, the target is an enhancement artifact. The kind you wonder about. Dahlia hesitated. These rare elven devices might explain her own abilities. Fine, she said. But we case the place thoroughly first. Any hint it's a trap, and we walk. Agreed, they all nodded. Though Finn's came a beat too late. What's wrong? Dahlia asked. Thought you were eager for this job, he said. I am, she shrugged. Just surprised you expected otherwise. Finn smiled, a secret hiding behind his eyes. Maybe it's time for bigger risks. The night wrapped the city in darkness as Dahlia slipped out alone. The streets were empty, the air thick with magic and danger. She climbed the rusty scaffolding beneath the floating islands, a place few dared to tread. Leaping between beams, twisting and flipping, the magic inside her grew stronger. Warm and electric, it filled her veins. Why could she do this? Why did the magic flow into her, but not others? Her foot slipped. For a moment, she hung over the abyss, fingers clutching cold metal. Calm washed over her. The magic surged, and she pulled herself up. She lay on the beam, heart pounding, staring up at the glowing towers above. The answers were up there. Among the elves. They had to be. 3 days later, Dahlia stood in the kitchen of Aurelian Manor, a stiff servant's uniform tugging at her shoulders. Around her, elves moved gracefully, preparing delicate canapes and filling crystal flutes with glowing drinks. The grand gala was in full swing above, while she played her part below, an unnoticed shadow in a sea of polished elegance. Ren leaned close and hissed, "Stop fidgeting. You look ready to bolt." "Just stay focused," Dahlia whispered. Her crystal, tucked behind her ear, buzzed softly. "Finn, are you in position?" "Service corridor outside the study." "No guard yet." They changed the rotation. Dahlia frowned. The entire plan depended on Malik's maps, and those routes were now unreliable. "Malik, update." His voice crackled through the crystal. "Observation post secure. Main hall visible. Guest list accurate, but security is heavier. 5 guards wearing enhancement bands. Watch for magic use." Dahlia's mind raced. Change of plans. "I'll create the distraction early. Finn, move on my signal. Ren, stay visible in the kitchen as cover." She took a tray of drinks and stepped into the main hall, weaving between the nobles in their shimmering gowns and jeweled collars. Their laughter was sharp, brittle. Dahlia ignored the sparkle of their jewels, scanning for her target, the steward. According to the notes, he carried the keys to the vault on a chain. There he was. A tall elf with silver hair, his face tight with command. Dahlia timed her steps to cross his path. As she passed a tall potted plant, she nudged it. Then stumbled, nearly dropping her tray. Luminescent drinks spilled onto his tunic. "You clumsy fool," he hissed, shoving her. "I'm so sorry, sir," Dahlia stammered, pressing a napkin to the stain. Her fingers brushed the keys. "Get out of my sight. Fetch cleaning supplies." She bowed her head and slipped away. "Finn, keys confirmed. Ready in 3. On it," came his voice. Dahlia moved quickly, slipping into a small alcove and pulling a pouch from her sleeve. She sprinkled crushed sandwall petals, harmless but sure to trigger magical alarms, into vents at opposite ends of the hall. Seconds later, a warning chimed through the manor. "Alert! Unknown substance detected in East Wing air circulation. All guests proceed to Central Hall for security verification." Guards hurried, ushering nobles away from the vault wing. "Finn, you're clear." Dahlia whispered into her crystal, then louder to a nearby guard, "Sir, what should kitchen staff do?" "Assemble in the kitchen," he replied. Perfect. Finn had 5 minutes alone in the vault. Dahlia blended with the other servants, playing the part, heart pounding. Minutes ticked by. 4 to vault access. 3 to locate artifact. 2 to secure and exit. Her crystal hummed. "I'm in," Finn whispered. "But no artifact. Just papers." Dahlia's breath caught. "What kind of papers?" "Your name's on them." Dahlia unfolded the documents, eyes scanning blood tests, magical sensitivity reports, and surveillance photos of her running across rooftops, glowing faintly amber. Someone had been watching her for years. "This isn't random," she said quietly. "Abort. Grab what you can. Get out now." "Too late." "Company," Finn's voice changed, tense. The crystal went silent. Dahlia cursed. She needed to rescue Finn, and fast. Clutching her stomach, she said to a nearby servant, "Bathroom." She slipped through a narrow door and broke into a run in the service corridors. The layout was a maze, but Malik had memorized every turn. 3 lefts, a right, past the wine cellar. Voices echoed. She ducked into a linen closet. 2 guards passed. "The false alarm," one muttered. "At least we caught the thief." "Stealing old papers," the other added. Dahlia's heart sank. Finn was caught. She couldn't save him alone, but she had to see the papers. She slipped out and crept back toward the vault. The heavy door hung open. Inside, papers lay scattered on the floor. She gathered what she could, eyes scanning quickly. Blood test results. Magical sensitivity charts. Surveillance showing her glowing during runs. One page showed metrics comparing her to others. Most subjects died during the tests. Footsteps echoed. Dahlia hid, clutching the papers. From the shadows, a tall elven woman stepped forward. Silver-white hair braided high. Scholar's robes mixed with practical leather. "Not a guard." "Fascinating," the woman said softly. "You actually exist," Dahlia whispered, tensing. "Who are you?" she asked, ready to fight or flee. "Someone with questions," the woman replied. Her eyes flicked to the papers. "About what you're wondering." A guard's voice called nearby. "Lady Celeria," Vault Breach reported. "Are you there?" Celeria met Dahlia's gaze. "Go. 3rd door left to the garden. North wall maintenance ladder." Dahlia hesitated. "Go," Celeria urged. "Before I reconsider." Dahlia didn't wait. She ran. By morning, the city buzzed with rumors. The speed thief had struck again, stealing from elven nobility. Dahlia sat on a water tower, watching the dark human district awaken. None of it was true. There had been no artifact, only secrets about her. Her crew's hideout was destroyed. Furniture overturned. Maps torn. Malik sat wounded, clutching a bleeding arm. Ren paced, furious. "Guards?" Dahlia asked, rushing over. "Not patrol," Malik winced. "Archmage's guard. Asked for you." Dahlia clenched her jaw. "We need to rescue Finn." Ren laughed bitterly. You want to save that traitor? Was he a traitor? Captured during the job, Ren said. And we were found too fast. Dahlia's doubt grew. Maybe he didn't give us up willingly, but maybe he did. Someone matching his description was seen talking to guards. Malik nodded. Too specific. I can't believe it, Dahlia said. Maybe he thought Valen's promise was real, Ren said. Equality for humans. Dahlia shook her head. We move now. Malik pointed to packed bags. Ren's contact can hide you. No, Dahlia said. I have to find out what's going on. She pulled the papers from her pocket. Someone's been studying me. And Finn's involved. Malik frowned. All the more reason to hide. But if they come for me there, they'll find you. Dahlia stuffed the papers away. I'll meet you in 3 days. Later, beneath the city, Dahlia walked the dark underground markets. Ancient tunnels full of stolen goods and whispered deals. She moved quietly, hood low. A flickering shop front caught her eye. Finn sat inside, talking with a hooded figure. She followed them into an abandoned workshop. Voices drifted through a broken window. I gave you everything, Finn said. Plans, safe houses, routes. And you failed, a cold voice replied. I did my part. You promised enhancement. The cold voice smiled. Your usefulness ended. But you may serve one last purpose. Fight her. Push her to her limits. Finn sounded shocked. I'm no lab rat. Boots approached. Right on schedule. Dahlia pressed against the wall as guards passed. She turned and ran. Behind her, doors slammed. Voices shouted. Her heart pounding, magic flowing, she burst into the streets. Dahlia ran faster than ever before, magic surging through her veins. The city blurred as she tore through the market streets, knocking over stalls, sending merchants yelling and people scattering. Guards shouted behind her, their enhanced bands glowing bright as they raced to catch the so-called speed thief. She didn't slow. The rush inside her was unlike anything before, a wildfire fueled by fear and rage. Every step brought more power. She leapt over carts, slid under low beams, and vaulted walls with inhuman grace. The ambient magic she absorbed with every move wrapped around her like a second skin. But her usual safe places were gone. Finn had betrayed them all. He knew every hidden alley, every secret door. Now, the entire city guard hunted her. Ahead, a rusty ladder led to the rooftops. Dahlia lunged for the lowest rung, pulling herself up with strength born of magic. The guards reached the street below too late. On the roofs, the city changed. Buildings were farther apart, the gaps wider than in the crowded human district. But Dahlia was stronger here, magic pulsing brighter, lifting her body with ease. She sprinted across the rooftops like a shadow. She flipped over rails, spun on narrow ledges, and flew between buildings, the wind sharp in her face. Below, shocked elves stopped and stared. No human could move like this. A patrol skiff shouted alarms and changed course toward her. She didn't slow. Instead, the chase fueled her, pushing her faster. The magic wrapped tighter, making her limbs light as air. She crossed a plaza filled with startled nobles. They gasped as she sped past, a blur their eyes could barely follow. A guard stepped in her path, his wrist glowing with an enhancement band. Dahlia didn't stop. She ran straight up a marble column, flipped over his head, and vanished into the maze of rooftops. The Archmage's tower rose ahead, a spire of silver and light. Solaria's charm pulsed in her hand, pulling her toward a maintenance entrance 50 yards away. Then, suddenly, a figure crashed before her, shattering the stone beneath his feet. It was Finn. His wild eyes shone with pain and madness. Blood trickled from his nose and ears. The enhancement's killing me, he gasped. But I had to find you. Dahlia stepped back, wary. Finn, look at yourself, she said. This magic isn't made for your body. It's burning you alive. He laughed, bitter and broken. Worth it. Watching you run faster, stronger. Special. You lied, she said coldly. Valen lied. He attacked with a flurry of punches and kicks, faster than before. Dahlia dodged, using his momentum against him. He crashed into a fountain, the basin cracking beneath him. "I never lied to you," she said, breath steady. "I didn't know either. You loved being special," he spat. "Leaving us behind." They grappled, rolling on polished stone. The magic around Dahlia blazed amber, feeding on her anger. "I protected you," she said. "Used my gift to keep us safe." "You made us targets," Finn growled. "I was nothing next to you." He grabbed a broken stone and hurled it. Dahlia ducked, but the distraction gave him a chance to tackle her. They skidded across the plaza. Despite his enhancement, Dahlia matched him move for move. The magic pulsed inside her, raw and powerful. "I trusted you," she said through clenched teeth. "You were family. But you would have left as soon as you knew." With a surge, Dahlia broke free and kicked him away. They stood, circling. Behind Finn, elven guards closed in, their bands glowing. "Why betray us?" Dahlia asked. "Because Valen promised equality," Finn said, voice cracking. "No more elves lording over humans. Everyone enhanced, everyone equal." A slow clap echoed. From the shadows stepped Lord Valen. His robes marked him as an archmage. "Touching reunion," he sneered. "Natural absorber versus enhanced experiment." Guards formed a circle, cutting off escape. Dahlia tensed, ready. Finn staggered, the enhancement burning him out. "You promised," he whispered to Valen. "Once I have her, permanent enhancement is yours." Dahlia stepped back, heart pounding. "Are you losing control?" she asked. Valen waved her off. "A temporary flaw. I will fix it, with your cooperation." "My father will never approve this," Solaria's voice cut through the tension. She stepped into the plaza, flanked by guards bearing the Archmage's insignia. "Your father?" Valen smiled thinly. "How fortunate you're here. Your father is about to become irrelevant." Solaria faced Valen. "Your illegal human experiments will end tonight." Valen snapped. "Your father hoards magic, holds back progress. My research changes that. You want weapons, human weapons, to fight your wars." Valen's cold mask cracked. "Better to be a useful tool than vermin." Dahlia watched Finn. His breathing was ragged. Blood flowed freely. "Finn needs help," she said urgently. Valen waved dismissively. "A sacrifice for progress." Finn's eyes widened, betrayal breaking him. "I needed data." Valen shrugged. "Provided it. Your usefulness ends now." Finn lunged at Valen. Magic flashed. Chaos exploded. Finn collapsed, the last of his power spent. Dahlia caught him, sliding to the ground. "Hold on," she whispered. He gripped her wrist weakly. "Ren and Malik, they're in danger." "Where?" "Old Spice Warehouse. Left side." His eyes fluttered closed. Dahlia's fury surged. Valen blasted guards. Solaria raised a shield. Dahlia stood, glowing amber with magic and rage. She moved faster than ever. Valen barely saw her coming. Her fist struck him hard. Guards tried to block, but she flowed past. "She killed him," she snarled. "Power? Politics? You're killing my friends." Valen staggered. He raised a control crystal. "Your friends die tomorrow unless you surrender." Dahlia hesitated. A blast hit her chest, throwing her back. Pain flared. Magic absorbed the blow. Her body healed quickly. Valen watched, fascinated. "Remarkable." Solaria stepped forward. "This ends now, Valen." Silence fell. Archmage Talus arrived, face cold. "Explain, daughter." Solaria told of Valen's treason. Talus frowned. Evidence played in the air. Valen raged. But Talus ruled. "Secure Valen. Confiscate devices." Valen charged Dahlia but she met him with grace. His speed threw him into guards' arms. "Secure the human," Talus ordered. Solaria defended Dahlia. "She is victim, not criminal." Talus studied Dahlia carefully. "Explain yourself." "She absorbs magic naturally," Celeria said. Proof of suppressed history. The crowd gasped. Dahlia nodded. Valen's ambitions had shaken centuries of lies. The battle over truth had just begun. The plaza was silent, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone present. Archmage Talus's sharp gaze moved between Dahlia and Celeria, then landed coldly on Valen, who was now bound by glowing chains forged of magic. You will be questioned, Valen, Talus said, voice like iron. Your crimes are grave. Your ambitions threaten the very foundation of our city. Valen's eyes burned with hatred, but he said nothing, his fate sealed. Talus turned to Celeria. You have taken great risks, daughter. Your accusations carry weight, but also danger. You stand at the edge of revolution. Celeria held her ground, violet eyes steady. Truth must be faced, father. The centuries of lies cannot hold forever. Talus's expression hardened. Very well. The council will oversee a commission to investigate these claims thoroughly. You will cooperate fully. He looked at Dahlia. And you, human, will submit to magical examination under Lady Celeria's supervision. This is not optional. Dahlia nodded, swallowing her fear. I will cooperate. But on one condition, my friends must be released unharmed. Talus considered, then gave a curt nod. Their release will depend on the results. Fairness will be ensured. Celeria stepped closer to Dahlia. I will protect you through this. You are more than just a subject to me now. Dahlia's heart stirred at the rare kindness. Malik and Ren were brought before her in a guarded chamber. Their faces were grim but alive. You're safe, Dahlia said softly. Malik smiled weakly. We owe you everything. Ren folded her arms. Careful, Dahlia. Elven politics are like shifting sands. Today's friend can be tomorrow's enemy. Dahlia knew the warning was true, but the chance to learn about her gift and the truth of her people was too great to ignore. The following days were a blur of tests and questioning. Lady Celeria watched over Dahlia closely, guiding the examinations and defending her against skeptical nobles and harsh guards. Dahlia learned more about the magic inside her, the natural ability to absorb ambient magic through movement, a trait thought extinct. Her body was unique, a bridge between past and future. One evening, Celeria invited Dahlia to a secluded balcony overlooking the glowing city. The commission is cautious, slow, Celeria said. But the crack has opened. There is hope. Dahlia looked out at the floating towers, their light reflecting in her eyes. Do you think things can change? She asked. Celeria smiled faintly. Nothing worth doing is easy. But change has begun. Suddenly, a message arrived. Ren and Malik were to be released, their detainment ended. The reunion was bittersweet. Their faces told stories of fear and endurance. We'll survive this, Malik promised. Together. Dahlia handed them access charms, small magical tokens allowing entry to parts of the upper city. A small rebellion against centuries of rules. Ren scoffed but accepted. We'll watch your back, human. Weeks passed as Dahlia trained under Celeria's watchful eye, pushing her speed and magic to new heights. The Archmage's research revealed more ancient texts, proof humans once wielded magic freely, before the cruel suppression. One day, Celeria and Dahlia raced across the rooftops, laughing and testing their speed. Celeria's enhancements glowed softly, Dahlia's natural gift burned bright. You're faster than any artifact, Celeria admitted, breathless. But there's more to learn, Dahlia said, eyes gleaming. About my past, and what's possible. Suddenly, a new threat loomed. Valen's loyalists had not disappeared. Reports came of raids in the lower city, mysterious disappearances, and rumors of a shadow army growing in secret. Dahlia's crew was still at risk. Celeria handed her a small crystal. This will help you. Call if you need aid. Dahlia nodded, steeling herself. The fight was far from over. That night, under the silver moon, Dahlia returned to the rooftops alone. The city was quiet except for distant footsteps. A figure stepped from the shadows, Finn, alive but changed. His eyes no longer wild but cold, hardened. Why are you still here? Dahlia asked, heart pounding. I have a choice now, Finn said. Valen's promises were lies. But I have power, and a chance to make things right. Dahlia studied him. Prove it. Finn nodded. Together, they planned their next move. A rebellion was rising, a fight not just for survival, but for freedom. The dawn painted the city gold as Dahlia and Finn stood atop the highest tower of the floating city, gazing out over the sprawling districts below. The silence between them was thick, heavy with unspoken words and old wounds. "You changed," Dahlia said finally, eyes fixed on the horizon. Finn met her gaze, a faint sadness there. "I had to. Valen almost broke me. But I won't be his pawn anymore." Dahlia nodded slowly. "Then we fight. Not just for us, but for everyone, humans, elves, all who've been silenced." Below, the city stirred. Guards patrolled tighter than ever. Valen's followers still lingered, shadows waiting to strike. Solaria's commission had started its work, but true justice was slow. The old guard resisted change. Dahlia's magic pulsed with renewed strength as she ran through the streets, her speed a blur. Finn followed, steady and strong, a reminder of the cost of betrayal, and the possibility of redemption. Their plan was simple: expose Valen's network, free the imprisoned, and ignite hope. At the warehouse where Ren and Malik had been held, Dahlia slipped inside under cover of darkness. She found them weak but alive. "We knew you'd come," Malik whispered. Ren grinned, bruised but defiant. "Time to end this." Together, they moved to the heart of Valen's operation, a hidden lab beneath the city, where twisted experiments on humans were conducted, trying to force magic through cruel machines. Inside, they confronted Valen, gaunt and furious, his eyes wild with desperation. "You cannot stop progress," he shouted. Dahlia stepped forward, glowing amber, every step a surge of power. "Your progress is built on lies and pain." The battle was fierce. Valen unleashed magic blasts, but Dahlia absorbed them, turning his power back. Finn fought beside her, fighting not for enhancement, but for truth. The lab shook, walls cracking. With one final surge, Dahlia overwhelmed Valen's magic. He collapsed, defeated. Guards arrived, arresting him and his loyalists. The city breathed a tentative sigh of relief. At the council, Solaria presented evidence of Valen's crimes and the true history of human magic. The elders listened, their faces unreadable. Change would not come overnight, but the crack was wide. Humans were no longer invisible beneath the elven towers. In the days that followed, laws began to shift. Humans gained access to education, magic study, and places once forbidden. Dahlia, Malik, Ren, and even Finn became symbols of a new future, proof that power did not belong to one race alone. One evening, Dahlia and Solaria stood on a balcony, watching stars emerge. "The journey is just beginning," Solaria said softly. Dahlia smiled. "For the first time, I believe in tomorrow." Together, they raced across the rooftops, two figures bathed in moonlight, equal in speed, equal in hope.